Okay, so say you just remembered something that's super important that should have been on your to-do list for the week, but it never made it on the list. And now it's due. It's officially become something that's important and urgent. And this isn't the first time that it's happened. Maybe it is, but if this is something that's a recurring activity in your life and you don't have a process in place for getting it done, I can promise you that this might not be the last time that you forget unless we set a process for you today, which is what I'm going to do with you right now. This is Melissa Dillon, and I am your host on Have More Time. Have more time for the things that you love to do, with the people that you love to do it with, and the things you enjoy most doing with your time. That's what we talk all about on this show. And today we're going to talk about a method for setting up a process once and for all so that you don't forget something that's important in your life again. So this episode is actually inspired by this happening to me recently. And this activity is probably not going to apply to you, but for our preschool tumbling program, I'm the one who's the bottleneck. This is very new for me. We've never had employees before this year, and this is the first year that we've ever had people that are counting on me to share the information that I know all about teaching children, young preschoolers tumbling, and it can't be done without my guidance. So what I've committed to doing is creating content for our teachers so that in the future when they want to teach the same skill again, then they have something to fall back on. They know what to do. They have videos or they have sheets. I'm still working on the process, but this is something that I have to do every month to get everyone on track with what the skills are going to be that we're going to teach the kids and what the themes are going to be for the adventures. We do storytelling adventures in every class, or we have some sort of theme that we like to talk about. And we're newly introducing by no later than this spring, we're going to reintroduce all sorts of props and fun, cool decorations and things like that. So it's only going to get tougher. So this is the second time this has happened where I'm supposed to be putting together the curriculum for the following month. I'm supposed to do it early. And today is the 31st. Or today's the 30th at the time that I'm recording this episode. So that means by the end of this weekend, that has to be done. I've already shared that I don't like to work nights or weekends, so that means I have to do it tomorrow if it's going to get accomplished before the end of the week. So this is something that should have been on my to-do list and it was not. What can I do to fix it so that this doesn't happen again? Can you totally relate? Even though you can't relate to the task at hand, maybe you can relate to something that this keeps happening to for you. Maybe it's something like forgetting to wash your child's soccer jersey. It's Thursday, the time that I'm recording this. So maybe by Saturday you have to have that washed and you should have had it washed earlier in the week. I don't know. So something like that. Or maybe you have a project that's due or a report that you're supposed to do by the end of the week. And now you forgot to put it on your list and you have to cram a bunch of stuff in at work. So can you relate to anything like that? Can you think of anything that is on your list right now that doesn't always end up on your list? So maybe right now you are on track and you are rocking it with keeping your list on track with everything that you need to accomplish. That's great, but keep this episode in your back pocket because there may be a time coming where you might forget to put it on your list. So what do? So I've already explained to you in past episodes that I use Todoist to manage everything. So what I'm going to talk about for all intents and purposes, now you can use the same process that I'm going to share with you today. You can use your calendar. You can put it in a sheet if you're a person that's a paper person. Maybe you have a sheet of those regularly scheduled tasks that you can reference from time to time to make sure you don't forget again. But you can always set reminders in your phone. There are all sorts of apps that you can do. So what I'm going to do for something like this, it's a recurring project that I have to get done by the last week of every month. So the first step is to schedule it, because if it's not scheduled, it won't get done, right? We talked about that. So I'm going to create a task in my Todoist app that reminds me at the end of the last Monday of every month that I need to get this accomplished by no later than the last Friday of the month. So that way I'll never forget it again. Can you think of anything that would be really helpful for? If you just had a reminder, a set it and forget it, so that you can get that RAM cleared in your brain to relax and know and count on your process in place to take care of it for you. If it's a bigger project, something that you have that has recurring steps that you have to take every month, I'm trying to think of an example that I could share with you today, but you might have something that's got, like, say, a 4-step process. What I suggest is that you, with any of your favorite to-do list apps, or again on paper, you can write out the process, the step-by-step tasks, and then set a reminder for the project, and then you already have the tasks at hand, so you don't have to use any mental energy anymore to go, okay, what are the steps again to complete that monthly project that I'm supposed to do? You don't have to worry about it because you already have your process in place. You've already set the reminder to remind you to go through it, and then you could just go on autopilot. You've got it scheduled, or maybe you could pencil it in your calendar, or pencil it in your paper calendar, or in Google, whatever you use. Then you could go ahead and schedule and put little notes on what the step-by-step process is. So I hope that this gives you some good ideas. I just feel like, this has always been a lifesaver for me, and you could use this with pretty much anything that you can think of. I brought up in the last episode, or one of the previous episodes last week, that I even use this as like a go-to for our camping trips and family affairs. Then anything that's a recurring activity that you know that you'll be doing again in the future, I highly recommend taking just a few extra moments to once and for all create a process so that you never forget again, and you don't have to put in a bunch of mental bandwidth to remembering all the processes that have to do with this task that you have at hand. So I hope that this helps, and please let me know if you want more information about things like this, organizing to-dos. I think I'm done with that for now, and I'm going to be moving on to different topics next week, but we'll see. You never know. I always like to cover things that are on my mind and that come from the soul to help your family live a life that you love. So thank you for tuning in, and be sure to rate us if you enjoyed this episode. Take care, and I'll talk with you next time.